Welcome back, episode 62 of the Black Squadron podcast. I'm BP, and today is joining me is Mari and Todd.
Yay!
Back again.
Might have been the first time I've referred to Mari as not Darth Mari, but
I know, I was like, whoa.
Here we are. So we got some things we want to talk about tonight, kids. It's going to be a fun one. But first and foremost, make sure you're following us on all our social medias. Same spiel I give every show. We're having a ton of fun on all of them, especially TikTok. You get to see Todd. Today, Todd wore a glittery pink cowboy hat and did a Star Wars TikTok for us. So you're going to want to see that.
It's lights up. It's real magical.
It may or may not say princess on it.
it definitely says princess
on it.
Brought to you courtesy of the band The Main.
So what are we going to talk about tonight? Tonight we're going to do our usual news, regular news, our cargo hold, our toy news. We might rant a touch about the state of Star Wars collecting once again. So yeah, you know what? Let's not mess around. Let's hop right into this, Todd. Holonet.
Alrighty, so we're going to kick off with some Disney Plus news, a little series news, and this is for a show that we haven't heard a whole lot about, but Andor, the show that I feel like was announced and then it's just been radio silent. But Andor, even though we haven't gotten season 1 yet, is getting a second season, allegedly. So this comes from the great Stellan Skarsgård, who is in the first season of Andor. He's doing an interview talking about projects he's working on, and during this interview, he said that they start on Dune Part 2 in July. So if you didn't know, Dune is getting a part 2. And then in the autumn, it's time for the second season of the Star Wars series Andor. I do not know when they will start broadcasting it, so I'm glad to see that he's in the know. It will take some time so that it does not take too long between season 1 and season 2. So again, we know that we're getting a second season. It is interesting. This is very similar to what I feel like they did with The Mandalorian, the first season, because I'm pretty sure we knew that The Mandalorian was getting a second season right before it actually launched on Disney Plus in 2019. It's pretty interesting. This show is expected to come, I think, fourth quarter of 2022. So around the fall is, I think, what people are sort of what the rumor mill is spitting out when the show should be coming out. What do you guys think? Obviously we don't know a whole lot about this show.
I know very little.
The fact that two things. So the fact that Stellan Skarsgård knows that there's a second season, clearly his character is going to have a significant role in this show. He brings enough acting pedigree that he would have probably a more significant role in the show just by his name, but also the fact that he knows that they're doing a second season. Clearly he is going to be having a very present role in the series, which that's exciting. It's always fun to see actors carry on instead of just having them show up and then take off. So what do you think about this news, BP? What does that do for you, knowing that we're already getting a second season?
Until I saw this, I forgot we were getting a first season.
It's been real quiet, man. They have not said a whole lot about this show.
I'm excited for the show because I love Rogue One. I love the trench warfare of Rogue One, and I'm hoping we get more gritty rebellion type stuff from the show, which I assume we will. So second season, great, more content.
What about you, Mari? What do you think about this news that we're getting a second season, even though we haven't heard much about the first?
I know, and I'm so anti-spoiler that I know probably even less than everyone else. So I'm not even sure what's gonna be happening. I
think all we know is the name.
Oh, okay.
Then Skarsgård's in it.
I know. I think there's a couple a little bit of casting news. So some characters are known. Whether or not they'll have a role in the show. But yeah, it's interesting that they're kind of taking the Mandalorian season 1, season 2 approach, where I feel like this wasn't intentional. Obviously, he maybe a little slip of the tongue that he's got this on his his calendar, which goes back to the whole Star Wars really keeps things close to the chest, and then when stuff like this slips out, everyone's like, what do you, what's going on here? What does this mean? Why didn't you just tell us this from the start? I do think that Alan Tudyk said that he isn't in this first season. But he's still kind of tied into all of the casting stuff. So I feel like this whole season 2 was a very poorly kept secret, kind of.
I mean, one way or another, Alan Tudyk will probably be in it because he is in everything that I can think of off the top of my head, Disney related, for like the last 10 years. Like he's something in every movie or show. It's bananas. He's like the voice acting version of Carl Urban, who's in everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the fact that he's K2SO. I mean, that relationship between K2 and Diego Luna's character, Cassian Andor, is very strong by the time that we see them in Rogue One. So I feel like this first season is going to be very backstory heavy on Andor, and then really kind of hit the ground running in season 2. So we'll see. Could be a little slow for people. Could cause some animosity among the fandom, which wouldn't be anything new.
Do we even know how long before Rogue One it's set? I don't think we even know that, do we?
I think it's 5 or 6 years. It's not a whole lot of time beforehand. It's very like later in the like life of Cassian Andor rather than
him at 6 years old.
Well, and I could see, I mean, again, Book of Boba really introduces the whole aspect of flashbacks, so I could see them having flashbacks to him being in this fight since he was 6 years old. So you get a young, you get kind of what you saw with the Mandalorian, where you see young Din Djarin and the attack with the droids. You get similar where it would be a young Cassian Andor and his parents are killed or the planet's destroyed or whatever by the Empire. Something to show that motivation, because again, this could be a lot of people's first time seeing Cassian Andor if they didn't watch Rogue One for whatever reason. So I feel like they have to kind of provide some of that context in that background. Otherwise, people could be a little perplexed or lost if they didn't watch Rogue One.
Yeah.
So I won't say no to more Star Wars, so that's always exciting. Speaking of more Star Wars, this is another rumor, but there is supposedly a kid-focused live-action High Republic series in development. So this comes from Cinelinx, which is reporting that a new High Republic live-action series is in development for Disney Plus that's going to focus on younger heroes. So the primary cast is going to be kids in their preteen to teenage years. What they've heard, Cinelinx has heard, is that it's kind of a Stranger Things vibe, which when I heard that, I was like, Stranger Things is kind of violent. So, but when you think of Stranger Things, and again, I'm not too familiar with the High Republic because I just started it, but the Drengir, or however you pronounce it, are these like plant-like monster-looking creatures that look very much like the Demogorgon in Stranger Things.
They're brutal too.
Yeah, they are, from what I've heard, very ruin your life kind of just creature monster craziness. So maybe a little bit of a horror, a little bit of an action adventure focused around the Padawans. And I feel the Padawans have kind of had a bit of a impact on the High Republic through some of the younger adult novels.
Yeah, there's a Padawan, or a Jedi now. She's a Jedi Knight. She's 16 years old, and she's kind of a big deal. So
I think this is awesome. Obviously, when they announced the High Republic, they talked about it being a multimedia project. So you've got video games now, you've got books, comics, manga. If this show turns out to be a thing, and Cinelinx has got a great track record, so I definitely would put a lot of weight behind this. If this turns out, you get a live action part of the High Republic, which everybody kind of, I think, felt like we were going to get at some point. This is cool. And again, it could be another jumping off point for people to be like, oh, wow, I really enjoyed this and I want to learn more about these characters. Good thing I have this gigantic backlog of books and comics and all kinds of media to consume to learn more about these characters.
I highly recommend it. It's so much fun.
People
always say we watch a show and like an episode of Book of Boba Fett's really good. And like, this is Star Wars. High Republic is Star Wars. So it's fantastic.
Light of the Jedi, I did not expect it to start out as brutal as it does with the like ship sorry, spoilers. I don't want to.
I won't say anything.
Sorry, I ruined it.
I won't say anything, but that's the least violent book.
Well, and that's the crazy thing. I was like, oh my goodness, like it was a lot to take in. And when I was like, oh, this will be a nice casual little reading experience, and they said no.
Yeah.
Charles,
I can't wait for you guys to read the comics because I can't remember I think it's book 6. There's a 2-page panel, 1 panel and 2 pages that I'm dying for you guys to see. So I can't wait for you guys to catch up because it is so brutal.
I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and read 1 and 2, then find the third one online, and then move on to 4. Because for whatever reason, you can't get 3 anymore. So
Comixology Unlimited, which is I have through Amazon. I think it's like $5 or $10 a month. The first 10 issues are on there for free once you sign up.
I think Marvel Unlimited probably also has them.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a similar online.
I'm not paying anyone else for comic books.
I refuse.
I mean, I can't.
Yes, obviously. This is great though. I mean, I love that the High Republic's getting more love and attention, and this could be something really fun and kind of a little darker and grittier, even though Disney Plus, it's going to be a kid's show, but it's going to be a kid's show in the sense that the Clone Wars is a kid's show where you've got Ahsoka decapitating Mandalorians and
respectfully
war crime. Yeah, respectfully. Yeah. War crimes out the wazoo, R2 yeeting droids off of
allegedly
platforms. Even Rebels, you got Chopper. Even Chopper's like the most well-known war criminal in the galaxy. Moving on, another Disney Plus news is that the Kenobi series may be coming in May of 2022. I feel like this was sort of known that we were going to get Kenobi in the spring.
A lot of people expected it because May the 4th is a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a theory, no scientific process at all, that there's going to be a Kenobi trailer Sunday for the Super Bowl.
I think we could start to see.
Guess.
Yeah, I think we could definitely start to see the Kenobi teasing really ramp up, especially since we didn't get anything at that Disney Plus day with Kenobi, and everybody was really expecting us to get something.
Yeah,
but this specific news comes from Brandon San Giovanni, who is the enterprise program manager at Disney Plus. So he's someone that's tied to content at Disney Plus and sort of the more business side of things. He tweeted out and then very quickly deleted after this message that said, our very own Obi-Wan will be saying hello there on Disney Plus May 2022. So this came right after the Kenobi miniseries comic was announced, that Marvel was doing sort of this limited run that covers Obi-Wan Kenobi's life in comic form. And I think he misinterpreted that or misread that, or somehow that flew over his head and he thought they were talking about the Kenobi series. Update to this to kind of corroborate it, but the Hollywood Reporter is also saying that their sources confirmed that May 2022 is probably when we'll start to get episodes. So it makes sense given that May the 4th is on a Wednesday. Celebration is Memorial Day weekend. So if they really want to get crazy, they drop it May 4th. You have the first half, because I think it's only 6 episodes. The first half drop right before Celebration, and then have a huge panel, get everybody involved, really just make it this crazy thing. It'll be fresh on your mind. Everybody will be chatting about it. Yeah. I think Celebration kicks off that Thursday. So an episode would drop right before that, and then we get right into the thick of it, right for Celebration. So it makes sense. And I know BP, you hinted at it. Do you think that we'll get a Super Bowl tease?
I think so, yeah. I mean, all the Super Bowl, whether you like football or not, a lot of people watch it regardless for commercials. So it'd be a good time.
It makes a lot of sense. They did it with Solo, so there is a precedent, because I know people are like, maybe they won't because Disney doesn't own. I forget who airs the Super Bowl. If it's not ABC, I think it's CBS.
It's either CBS or Fox. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's one of the two, but
Fox.
It's one of the ones that Disney doesn't own, doesn't have their monopoly hands all over.
Not yet.
Not yet. They got to get the Thanos gauntlet for the Super Bowl. But that's usually the big hesitation. It's like, they don't own they own ABC. So if it's not on ABC, Disney doesn't kind of get the free in-house press from it aspect. They have to pay someone to really go crazy with it. But again, they have a precedent. They did it with Solo, even though Solo was sort of all over the place on their marketing for that series.
Hey, if you were a big Denny's fan, you got lots of Solo.
There was a lot of Solo at Denny's, which is such a shame, man, that it was like Super Bowl, then Denny's, and that's all the marketing for Solo. It's such a good film. But yeah, I would love to get something, just like a little, like, please Disney, give us a little table scrap of Kenobi, especially since we'll have Book of Boba and as people are listening to this episode today, it would be the finale. So you really hit the ground running. Like Book of Boba just ended. Super Bowl is right coming up. Keep the Star Wars going. Keep it in the minds. Keep it fresh. Keep it hot. Keep it.
We're
chugging
really
along.
sorry about Boba. So here's Kenobi.
We don't need to get into it, but I've got very strong feelings about Kenobi. Both
Speaking of Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett, you've probably noticed listening to our show, we haven't talked about it on the show much, like at all. And that's because the next episode is going to be the Book of Boba Fett episode where we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll do a big recap.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
The bantha in the room.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I mean, for people that may not follow us on TikTok, we do lives Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how things shake out, where we do kind of give a more in-depth, very casual discussion on what we liked that week, what we didn't. So we'll be doing one more of those. That's usually around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that we do those. I've been doing Book of Boba real short recaps. I didn't do one for Chapter 6, so I'll probably do Chapter 6 and 7, kind of wrap it up into one very feelings-based discussion, but usually those are less than 10 minutes real quick. And then as BP, you said, our next episode will be really getting into the meat of it and all the feelings now that will have all the episodes to digest.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that because I actually haven't talked about it aside from our group chat much at all, and so I'm looking forward to that. Before we go to the cargo hold, I didn't want to skip over the Obi-Wan comic series that Todd mentioned. So that's pretty exciting. We're getting a mini series of Obi-Wan, and they've released the first 3 covers. And the first 3 covers, 2 or 3 are awesome. The third one's not my style. It's kind of like it's kind of like manga-ish, but the person who drew it has never heard of manga.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. But it's written by Chris Cantwell. He's got a pretty good track record, so I'm really looking forward to that series. But the reason I want to bring that up also is because thanks to Miss Mari, we are going to have a comic segment, Star Wars comic segment on the show eventually, starting sooner than later. And we're not going to go backfill because there's millions of Star Wars comics. We're going to start with newer stuff that's out now and go from there. So look forward to that if you're a comic fan.
Something a little different, a little fresh. Plus, there's so many great comics out there that people might not take advantage of reading. So having something that's an easily digestible little discussion that you can just pop in your ears and know what's going on in the comic world is always nice.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Comics are what got me into pop culture. So put comics and Star Wars together. Oh, baby.
it's your favorite dream come true. But that's going to wrap it up for the news. There's a couple other things that came out, but they're a little spoilery / they're rumors. So we'll probably discuss those whenever they become official, if they ever become official, because Lucasfilm likes to keep things close to the chest. But on that note, I'm going to toss it over to you, BP, for the cargo hold.
As always.
The Cargo Hold segment is brought to you by Skyward Fun Supply. Skyward Fun Supply was born from a love of 2 things, Star Wars and the hobby of figure and toy collecting. They are a company that truly knows how fun the hobby of action figure and toy collecting is because they are collectors too, with over 30 years of experience in the hobby. Every item from Skyward Fun Supply is guaranteed to be in mint condition. Head over to www.skywardfunsupply.com and use code BSP10 to save 10%. I tell you, that Skyward Fun Supply music just gets me jazzed.
It's the people. What is it? It's the scene from Blades of Glory where they're like, gets the people moving.
Gets the people moving. So Cargo Hold. We usually start with our pickups for the past week. So I think I'll go first, and then Mari, and then Todd. Because Todd's list is like literally a page. So
I have a spending problem, man. It's getting bad.
I only have 2 things this week because one didn't show up yet, so I'll talk about that next week hopefully. But one is I don't know who doesn't. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and she's a little geek like me, so she wanted a Star Wars princess costume. So my first thought was I pulled up a Queen Amidala picture, and she goes yes. So I bought her the Queen Amidala costume, and I showed it to Todd and Mari. And I might be biased because she's my kid, but adorable.
So cute.
My
And
heart melted.
Yeah.
the other thing I got one for myself, loose, one to keep in the box, and then one to give away on the show. I haven't figured out the giveaway yet, but I'll let you guys know as soon as possible. But in 1997, Mario was all but one. I'm kidding.
I was 3, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, Todd was
Wow, you're the baby.
I'm just so small.
there was a Power of the Force mail away through Lay's potato chips to get a Force Ghost Obi-Wan. So we gotta make it big, make the screen bigger. There we go. Go. Why is it not working? There we go. I got the Obi-Wan mail away.
That's real nice.
So I'll be giving away one in the box on the show here, still sealed, from 1997. Sometime in the next couple weeks. I just got to figure out a good way to do it. But that's all I got this week. I got some things pre-ordered per usual. Talk about when I'm gonna get them, and I got one really dumb purchase off eBay that hasn't arrived yet. So looking forward to that. Mari.
I somehow behaved myself and did not buy a single thing this week. So
Play the music, Todd.
We're out. That's it. That's our show, folks. Is it my turn? Do you want me to start going
yeah,
through?
Todd.
Okay, well, we'll start this laundry list of things that Todd bought recently. It's gonna be Todd's cargo hold. So I picked up the Lego X-Wing Poe Dameron. Like, I think the set's like for 4-year-old kids. I think it's at 4+ on the box.
Took Todd 6 hours.
It took me 12 hours to build out. It's a nice little set. Like, it's cute. It's got BB-8. It's got Poe Dameron. It's real simple, real easy build. Grab that guy. I got the.
It is indeed for 4-year-olds.
I'm actually 4 at heart. I'm 2 4-year-olds stacked in a trench coat. I got the Imperial Troop Transport from the Mandalorian because it was on sale at Target.
I have been trying so hard not to buy that, and now
it was like $8 off. I was like, sold, done. I'm in. You didn't have to. I think it's on sale on Target's on the app right now. So if you're looking, great detail. Like, it's real cool. I mean, like, stuff opens.
While we're focused on Todd, I'm gonna do some shopping.
Who did it come with? Grief Karga?
Yeah. So let me pull the minifigures were a little interesting. So you have I'm throwing them all over the place. You got Grief Karga, little old man season 2.
Oh, Graybeard.
Little Graybeard season 2 Grief Karga. You have a Mortar Trooper, which I was like, that makes no sense because they're not at all. You have, I think, 2 Stormtroopers, and then it comes with like the Mortar Trooper's little mortar launcher, and then just 2 regular Stormtroopers. So those were my Lego pickups. I think I mentioned it last week, but I got a couple of the helmet collection as well. And a lot of the stuff hasn't arrived. It's in the mail that I picked up, but we'll go through the bulk, the girth of my cargo hold. I got a whole bunch of TVC figures that I intend to open up. I got a lot of these. I think I got them all from Skyward. But I got a Din Djarin in Beskar, an IG-11, the Child, and Moff Gideon. Plan on opening all of those. I got those because I finally decided to get the Navarro Cantina set. A, because I wanted the Death Trooper TVC card to keep minty and fresh, and that only comes with that set. And B, I thought it'd be fun to have something to open up and do some little diorama building, mainly because Black Series is kind of driving me nuts, and I want to be able to play with some stuff.
I just realized I'm going to have to buy that set because I just made this Din Djarin setup.
Mm-hmm. It's a cool set. You get that. You've got all the stuff that Walmart put up for pre-order not too long ago with the Incinerator Trooper, with the flame effects for Grogu. You got the E-Web with the Stormtrooper. I was like, this is going to be bad. It's going to be great, but it's going to be bad. So
glad I don't collect these.
It's like a black hole of money that just I see stuff and I'm like, that done. If my girlfriend is listening, please do not check the credit card statement.
I'm just happy that the Black Squadron podcast has been able to fund Jeremy's child's college tuition.
It's a lot of toys. I love them, and again, these are all intended to be openers. So a lot of them, I got the non-mint ones, and I'm sure they're going to look better than 90% of what we get from Amazon or whatever. I mean, the quality of the product you get from Skyward is night and day better than anywhere else. Even some of the bigger, like, collector focused retailers out there that people push.
Mhm.
He blows them out of the water when it comes to the quality and communication, customer service, and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So real excited to get those. I also pre-ordered a bunch of figures, and I'm sure we'll be talking about them later in the show. But I got some Black Series figures and another TVC that we'll mention later on in the actual toy news. Last two things I got, because the list doesn't end. I got another C-3PO to open up. The droid C-3PO, that's a Target exclusive. It's a real cool nightmare inducing figure if you take, because it's got like his C-3PO armor comes off. Yeah, the outer shell per se comes off, and it's blue, and his little eyes are like little beady, terrifying nope eyes. So got that. And then the last thing I got is there's a creator out there called Padawanbear Patches, and he makes these really cool like toy inspired patches. So I got the Star Wars The Vintage Collection patch. I've also got another one in the same style that says Action Figure Collector. I got a Kenner logo.
Love that one.
Love the Kenner. This is the bigger one too of the ones that he makes. I got the Phantom Menace, and these are similar to what you would see on the TVC card backs, the same style. I got Attack of the Clones. If you can't tell already, there's a little prequel theme going on here. Revenge of the Sith. Real nice.
Love it.
Real nice. A free Boba Fett mail away. So it says free Boba Fett with purchase of any 4 Star Wars action figures. Little nice Boba Fett mail away. And then, of course, even though I've got beef with the show, the Book of Boba Fett. Gonna end it on that one. Lot of great patches. He's got like pill capsules that you would see on the TVC figures.
I've worn winter hats that have the pill capsule patches. I have the Mandalorian logo one on a hat. The one you mentioned, the Star Wars action figure collector, on a black hat like this. If you don't like patches, he also has all these exact same things in stickers.
And they all look great. I mean, I love them. I'm trying to build like a toy inspired patch pin jacket. So that's kind of what all of that has been focused. I love a good sticker.
We have nothing to do with him other than we buy from him, but his stuff, the quality is unmatched.
It's great. And again, if you're a collector, if you're a collector like a lot of us are, and I think our listeners are also, we talk about toys a lot, so I assume that some of them like to collect as well. Another great creator, small business, and he makes really cool stuff that is collector inspired. So
is he on Etsy?
Yep.
Etsy and eBay. And I will say his prices are stupid low.
Yeah, for what
and
you
it's
get.
Free shipping on everything.
I'll go ahead and I'll include a link in the description, all the stuff so people can find them. They look great. They're fantastic, and they're different. I always like adding something that's a little different to the collection. We buy toys, and we kind of all know what the toys look like if we ever get them a year or two after the pre-order goes up for them.
You'll find out if you buy a lot from him, from Padawanbear, a lot, you'll get a Christmas gift from him. Of a Merry Christmas Star Wars patch that he only sends to people who spend way too much money for him. Anyway, I got 2 of them.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap up what I got. I think I'm probably leaving stuff out, but we'll whenever it shows up, I'll make sure it'll be on the list at some point. I mean, some of it we'll talk about now during the toy news, but there's a couple of things that I did pre-order that were recently announced.
All right, let's hop into the actual toy news. I've been talking about this company every week. It feels like Fig Pens. I was at Target 2 days ago, and I did see the Wrecker Fig Pen, and it was the same size as the others, and it made me irrationally angry, and I didn't buy it.
I saw him today when I was at Target because I've been hunting for the newer Black Series and some of the droids figures, and I was surprised at how normal sized he looked.
Yeah, so I didn't buy it because of that. I'm very particular about record. Anyway, Fig Pens, they announced some new stuff this week. R2-D2 with Grogu from Mandalorian, or another program that's on Disney Plus. A prototype Boba Fett, so yet another white Boba. These are both shopdisney.com or Disney Park exclusives. So those 2 are exclusives. They also announced today Book of Boba Fett 2 different Boba Fett's from the Book of Boba Fett. So it's like the maroon boot covers and the super bright color, everything, in 2 different poses, and then Finnick. Tomorrow, when you're listening to this, at 1 o'clock-ish, usually, I think, Hasbro Fan Fest, they're doing some Star Wars announcements, right, Todd?
I guess it would be today if they're listening to it because it's Wednesday. February
Yes,
9th. Yeah.
today.
Technically, if you're listening to this, this is going on, at some point, either if you're listening in the morning or
So February 9th.
February 9th.
One of these days we'll get used to the fact that we're recording
Yep.
the day before, 2 days before these things happen.
You know what throws me off? So we record this for audio and video, so for YouTube and our podcasting platforms. And up in the left-hand corner, it says live, and it's a big red button. And I keep forgetting we're not live. What else came out here? What do you guys think? What do you think they're going to announce this Fan Fest? I mean,
so there's
God
some
only hopes
stuff. There's
Black
some stuff
Percent.
that has kind of come out that I don't know if it's a failure on Hasbro's part of the Star Wars team or what. But like a lot of the most recent Black Series wave is hitting Target shelves, and those aren't even up for pre-order yet. They're supposed to, I believe, come out for pre-order during this. Like they're gonna, I think they've already been announced, but announced for pre-order.
Yeah.
During this Fan First Wednesday live stream. So we got some Black Series. I'm sure we'll get some pipeline reveals, some stuff related to Book of Boba Fett, whether or not that'll be tied to the finale. I'm sure we'll get pipeline stuff for characters, like spoilers for Book of Boba Fett, but Cad Bane and Black Chrysanthemum and some of those characters I could see them announcing in the pipeline. I don't think we're going to get a HasLab because we just did the Rancor and that kind of crashed and burned.
Womp, womp.
And the Razor Crest is starting to ship, so I feel like they don't want to take away from the Razor Crest right now.
Speaking of, that's starting to ship, like you said, and I did see on Instagram before we started that someone got one today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ordered it, head it on swivel.
Keep your eyes peeled. Mari, what do you think? What would you like to see? I know you're not as much of a collector as me and BP, but what as a non-heavy collector, what would you like to see Hasbro announce that you can get in the year 2027?
If you're lucky.
Are you talking about HasLab or just like in general?
Just in general, the Black Series TVC, those are kind of their bread and butter. I'm sure they might announce some Mission Fleet stuff because that seems to be churning and burning with those.
One of you said Black Chrysanthemum. I definitely want to start seeing some additional bounty hunter and gladiator stuff hitting the shelves. Just like extended characters from different parts of the universe. So it would be really neat to see a Black Chrysanthemum or a Cad Bane.
I would love for them to just go full send on Book of Boba and just go crazy and just be like, here's a figure, here's a figure, here's a figure, here's a figure. I don't think we're going to, because there's no indication that they're going to do that for us or really get to kind of the early, not early days, but the older Star Wars lines like Power of the Force and all that, where they just had every character possible in toy format.
Max. I want Max.
I want Max Rebo and his no hands, all feet, showing his business to the world.
Yep.
But I would love like Black Chrysanthemum, Madame Garza, get the two
Twi'leks.
Yeah, get the Twi'leks.
Guards.
Get the. I would love to see Naboo N1, the new boat, the Din Djarin's new shiny chrome ship. I would love to see that as a TVC figure because
the back to tanning bed.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much. I would love to see play sets like
Boba
they have the
underwear.
Old, yeah. Oh, give me undies. He's got to glisten though. I really want the glistening. Like have like a gel that you can like put.
You can make the whole fight scene with him and Black Chrysanthemum. Get them all going.
Remember the Jabba the Hutt ooze set from '99? It's the Boba Fett version, but with Bacta and underwear.
I just want a real juiced up Boba Fett that I can throw around.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness. What's next?
So Black Series. This is a mess. So I'm gonna try to get through this without bashing them too much. So Todd mentioned that some of the things that we expect to see tomorrow on the 9th for the Hasbro Fan Fest is a set of 6 Black Series we expect to see and be able to pre-order tomorrow. However, people are finding these in Targets and buying them now. So there's no rhyme or reason to any of this at this point. So that is the Client from Mandalorian Season 1, Omega from Bad Batch, Echo from Bad Batch, which I absolutely need for the rest of my Bad Batch collection, a Death Watch Mandalorian, which I might also try to find because it just looks really good, and potentially Black Series Figure of the Year candidate, the Ahsoka from Mandalorian Season 1. The sculpt on that Ahsoka is top notch.
It's a
beautiful,
real nice figure. I mean, they all look good. The Black Series, I feel like sometimes it's hit or miss, but this wave seems to be all pretty spot on. But yeah, the fact that people are already finding them, like I've been checking my Target just casually, like, oh, we'll go see, and you can find the barcodes out there if you look hard enough. So like I go up to the little self scanners and just check them to see if they're in the back, or it's like, let's see if you're in shelves today kind of thing.
I really need to like double. So I have 2 Targets within a mile of my house. So I need to remember to check both of them, because I sent you a picture from the one. Yeah. I end up going towards another one weekly. So like I could literally be checking 3 Targets a week.
But the crazy thing is none of these are exclusive to Target. They're broad. Anybody, you can find them anywhere.
It's just that they're for some reason releasing early.
Yeah, it's a big retailer. They always get stock first, and then they kind of divvy it out to the smaller guys. But they had the same issue with, I think, the last wave 31, because you had the Boba Tython, the robes, Boba Fett, and Fennec, and people were finding that in Targets, and it's the same issue where you pre-order these figures like months and months in advance, and then people either find them before, like super early in Targets, or you never see them on store shelves.
Yeah.
I'm just now starting to see like wave 30, I think, figures, and even some of like the newer TVC figures from the December wave hitting shelves on Target. So yeah, no rhyme or reason to sort of how they're doing. I just feel like it's been miss after miss after miss with them recently, and we don't want to get too much into the dumping on Hasbro, but yeah, between this and some of the pre-order nonsense recently, it's been rough.
It's a mess. Well, speaking of that, the 2 new pre-orders happened today, I believe. One was a Black Series and one was a TVC. The Black Series Dark Trooper Deluxe. Which Deluxe meant that you got his blaster, or the blaster of the droid, and the flames of the droid. So it was $34, give or take, and it comes out
May 23.
May 2023.
It's a full year, over a year away, which is just, I don't the character will have been out for 2 years. It'll be 2 years since Mando season 2 that we will get these figures, and the fact that it's a $34 price point for a figure that people are going to be buying to army build, like you're going to be. I saw one of the groups I'm in, someone bought 30 of them, which I was like, my goodness, over $1,000 of Black Series Dark Troopers.
That's literally the first siren that's gone by my place in months.
But yeah, it's the price points for these are just getting crazy. There's another one too that I forgot about. Was the Walmart Boba Fett Tython one. So that re-armored, not quite the re-armored one, but like the re-armored light one. But yeah, it's tough, man. They're just getting so expensive to do Black Series, and everything's getting slapped with Deluxe recently. So you're getting $30+ figures, which are just adds up when you buy, like if you're an army builder and you buy 5 Dark Troopers, that's $150 in. I mean, you add another 2 or 3 of those, and you can buy the Hot Toys Dark Trooper.
I'm going to go into work tomorrow and say that I'm now a Deluxe employee, so I require a raise.
And actually slap an extra 10% on.
What does that get you, you ask? I will wear my hat to the office.
Yeah, and maybe one extra sock if you're lucky.
Maybe. I don't know. My Crocs are...
You got one toe hanging out.
And the other figure was a TVC. It was Din Djarin, what was that? It's not a tank trooper, but
Yeah, it's like the Morak. Was it Morak? I think.
yeah,
was
Morak disguise
Yeah.
Din. So the
the
helmet does
prison
come
part.
off and on, which I thought was a good touch especially for a TVC.
The face sculpt looks pretty good on that one because I think there's only one other TVC figure where you've got a removable helmet for Din Djarin.
Yeah, that's that was the Walmart exclusive with Grogu and the container, the ice cream machine.
Yeah, the Camtono
Camtono,
of Glory.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't see the release date for this one, but I have a feeling it's another
2025.
wait and see. It's a later wave. I know that of TVC. I don't think it's the next wave. I think it's the wave after that. But still, just the disconnect between when we get these figures to buy and when we see them in the show is really just a Star Wars issue. You look at Marvel, you look at DC, like that's all I see in stores is Marvel figures and DC figures.
Funko has things out before the shows come out.
Yeah. I was like, what do you guys, and Hasbro's like, here's a figure that you can have if you ask nicely.
Do you remember 2 years ago when this show aired? Well, now you can have the figure.
Well, even in Navarro Cantina, like they announced that, but you still can't complete the set because there's no the client
TVC
figure.
Yeah.
So there's no Werner Herzog TVC. I want a 3 3/4. I would like to see the baby man. And there's no season 1 Grief Karga. There's a season 2 Grief Karga, but not a season 1. Like it's head scratching at some of the decisions when you have all these play sets that, like, the whole thing with the 3 3/4 line is take them out, play with them, build scenes, world building, but you don't have the figures to do that world building. So it's just odd. It's an odd time to be a collector, and I think a lot of people are starting to get a little burnt down on collecting. I know BP, I think we've talked about in the past. You are. A bunch of people I see online are like, I'm tapping out after this wave of the Black Series because of the prices and the delays, and it's becoming tough.
To quote my favorite podcast, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, did distribution problems with Hasbro and Star Wars. But
I get they're going to chalk it up to COVID as much as they can, but my goodness, man, it's tough to
tell that to the Batman who's got toys on the shelf.
Your Batman collector heart is very happy right now.
I did buy some stuff this weekend.
I think there's one other figure I forgot to include in the notes, but this was announced a while ago, but he's finally up for pre-order. But that Din Djarin and Grogu Orvala 7, the muddy Din Djarin figure, has been popping up and down on Target's pre-order to the point where it was like, it's up, it's down. All right, it's up again. Like, now's your chance. Okay, it's gone again. Like, they would release 6 at a time kind of thing. So I was sitting there, and I know a bunch of other people doing the same thing, where you would hit like the notify me when in stock. You would get the alert, you would click on it, and then it would just be a rat race to try and get it through. And you just you bash it. I was like, wow, I really need to go home and rethink my life.
I'm this close to buying the season 1 Mando Black Series off eBay, because you can still get them on eBay for pretty cheap, like $20, and making my own brown muddy.
Just go throw them in the mud.
Yeah, like I'm so close to just doing it myself, because the pre-order process has turned me so off of collecting. It's bananas.
If there was stock in stores and it wasn't so heavy on the pre-ordering aspect, then it would be fine. But it's just that's the only way to get toys nowadays.
Yeah, it's sucks.
But enough of the Hasbro ranting.
Yeah,
we can do that again next week after the live stream and they say something that makes us upset.
All right, so I didn't mention it at the top of the show, but our topic tonight is going to be our personal favorite lightsabers across Star Wars, whether that be Old Republic, regular trilogy, prequels, sequels, High Republic. Just because we all love the designs and we want to talk about it. So if you are listening to this on the podcast, thank you. But you may also want to check out this portion on YouTube because we're going to show pictures.
It's show and tell.
Yay! I love spaghetti. All right, so how you guys want to do this round robin? We each talk about one.
We can start with Mari, and then BP, you can go, and then I'll kind of close it out. I know we've got some overlap, you and me, BP, so we can finish on a high note.
All right.
All right, Miss Mari, what's your first one?
I feel like everyone should know. I mean, I'm a broken record here.
Are you though?
It's Darth Maul. If anyone really had to guess, like, it's Darth Maul.
It's
iconic. Like when that lightsaber, when it goes off, the first one, everyone's like, he's bad, and then the second one goes off, and it's that meme where everyone just goes in the air, like hyped up. It's a dual saber. Like, what? Iconic. So.
I mean, this was 100% like the saber that was my childhood.
Yeah.
And let's see. BP's got a big girthy one.
So I just did a TikTok on my personal TikTok, and this was in the background. And someone said, "I've been looking for that forever. Where'd you get it?" I said, "At a Walmart in late 1998."
There is something to be said about that lightsaber, like just the design element, the aesthetic. I mean, you got to remember this was George is reintroducing a new wave of people, my generation, to Star Wars, and you got to do it with a bang. You got to get crazy with it. So he's like, "Why have one lightsaber when you can have two lightsabers?"
But I remember when that trailer happened. And I saw obviously Darth Maul, was like, "Oh my god!" And he did the lightsaber. It came out one. I was like, "Oh, sick!" And then another one came out. Huh.
Can we talk about the fact that was in the trailer? Like, could you imagine nowadays? Like,
I didn't see the trailer even back then. I was like, no.
I wouldn't remember because I think I was like 5. So again, my youth is showing, but it was everywhere though. Like toys, Darth Maul was like shoved down your throat when it came to toys.
He was the card back on figures.
He was the card back.
I'm so sad that I missed out on collecting back then.
It was beautiful.
I have all these little random ones that I found in that random Kentucky thrift shop that I did. But that's it. They're not in packages. I don't have any of that. So I'm definitely bummed I missed out on the mall hype from back then.
I actually have a Phantom Menace cargo haul purchase coming.
Ooh.
I think it was 10 items.
Ooh.
Dang.
Ooh. Is this the one I sent you?
No.
Okay. I was going to say
Star Wars.
I feel like we just send each other too much Star Wars stuff, and it's like, I don't need it. However, you sent this to me. So
you guys only send the expensive stuff to our chat. I see how it is. They're like, Mari's definitely going to buy this one.
I didn't realize it wasn't in the main chat, but Todd sent me a Goodwill link. And instead of saying like Star Wars lot or Star Wars toys, it said 7 pounds of Star Wars. It was just like random stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Darth Maul's lightsaber though. What a saber.
Oh, yeah.
What a way to kick things off though for our favorites. I feel like that it's almost like, all right, Mari came in, she's like, here's the saber. Have fun. You guys can try and beat this.
Yeah, I've had this since day one, man. This is my favorite, might be my favorite thing in my collection.
She's a beautiful. She's a real NASCAR. I love that it's got the little little
half of these are taped together.
Oh yeah, those things do not hold up to the wear and tear. I had a bunch of those as a kid. For the audio listeners, it's the lightsabers from the late 90s that you would basically fling.
You whip
the
them
blade.
out.
Yeah, you whip them. And we, as a child, I would just wail on my brother with it, and it was the same thing. Like we would have lightsaber fights, but you would go as hard as they do at the movies.
This had batteries and everything, man. They had the lights. They're essentially just flashlights with telescoping red plastic. But in BP's youth days, I was a dual wielding lightsaber user.
All right, BB, let's let you go next.
All right. I'm going to start with a new guy because he's older than all of these people, I think. Stellan Gios from the High Republic. Look at this thing. Even the holster is awesome.
Holster is ridiculous.
I love everything about this. It's ornate, it's obnoxious, it's beautiful, it's elegant. Look at the cross guards, how they fold up
Yeah.
and out when the blade. Oh man, so
It's
good.
it's
So
a
pretty.
Kylo Ren but extra.
Oh yeah, it's controlled,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's the blue blade, which looks really good. So if you guys are listening to this and you've never seen Stellan Geos lightsaber, go look because it is beautiful.
I feel like we've talked about this before, just
Oh,
because
yeah.
of how
We definitely
gorgeous his
have.
lightsaber is. But my goodness, it really is taking that idea of like an elegant lightsaber and moving it to the next level.
It's very King Arthur ish.
Real nice.
All right, Todd, what you got first?
All right, let's start off. Mari started with Darth Maul. I'm gonna start off with probably her favorite character from the Phantom Menace, second to Darth Maul. Darth Maul's BFF, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and not just any Obi-Wan, Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Look at
Hello
that
there.
tail.
Padawan. I'm gonna get it right eventually. It's like a tongue twister. He's Irish now. Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just love his lightsaber. I mean, it's almost comical to a degree because it's got like the just giant ball at the bottom with the spikes around it.
Dude.
But from a childhood nostalgia element, BP, like you have the Darth Maul spring lightsaber. I had Obi-Wan's.
I have this one too.
Yeah, I had Obi-Wan's toy lightsaber, and it made sound. It was so cool as a kid, and just seeing that lightsaber in store shelves and on the screen, and obviously it gets yeeted down a pit of despair, and he uses a different lightsaber to take down our boy Maul, allegedly. But it's just such a cool lightsaber, just an elegant lightsaber. And it is interesting, like Darth Maul's lightsaber is very much intimidating and power and fear. And Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's lightsabers are very that elegant simplicity aspect, but still ornate. They've got those, like I said, Obi-Wan's has got that ball with the little knobs on the bottom of it. So it's it's like a doorknob on a lightsaber.
There are some lightsabers that are really fun to build, like 3D kits. But there are a handful that I won't do anymore, and that lightsaber is one of them because that ball with the spikes around it is such a pain in the ass. I just don't do it anymore.
It's a real technical looking lightsaber. Have you ever watched the video of Ewan McGregor picking out the lightsabers, like the behind the scenes stuff? Oh yeah, they bring him a box of lightsabers, and he's like, "All right, time for you to pick Obi-Wan's lightsaber." And he's like playing around with different ones and checking them out.
That's amazing. I can't believe I've never seen that.
Oh,
That's
I'll have
in
to
the
send it to
documentary,
you.
right?
I think it's in one of the making
the Empire.
Making an Empire, or Empire of
Something
Dreams.
like
No,
that.
Empire of Dreams is original trilogy, so it's got to be in the probably the making of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Somewhere.
But it's still fun. It's fun seeing Ewan McGregor. I'm so excited to see him back, just because he's got such a love of Star Wars, and seeing him back in all his glory.
You guys should YouTube Ewan McGregor on the Graham Norton show, which is Graham Norton show is always really good. It's like this British late night show that's funny, actually funny.
I've seen the one with him.
Yeah,
it's so good.
He's like, I was yelling at a kid who ran a stop sign, and you could just see in his eyes, that's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
the power of being Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He said, I chase kids down the street to prove I'm Obi-Wan. They don't believe me.
Do you imagine just like walking down the street and Ewan McGregor runs up to you? He's like, wait, I must challenge you. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my God.
I've come to find you. All right, Miss Mari, what is your number 2?
My number 2 are, I guess, who do I want to go for number 2? Because like the last 2 that I found, I was like, I love these. I think it's gonna have to be the Executioner's Maw, though. That thing is so wild looking. Does it have a jet engine on the back? Like, what is it?
So for those who don't know, this is a lightsaber from the game Star Wars The Old Republic. So it's not Knights of the Old Republic, it's the MMO one. And they just go, I feel like, over the top.
They went for it.
They're like, how can we make this the most over the top extra lightsaber ever?
This one is it.
It's like the lightsaber version, like not design, but the equivalent of ice from Game of Thrones, Ned Stark's first sword, that giant,
yep.
ridiculous, impractical thing. This is it.
It reminds me of Godzilla shooting a laser beam.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's like one of those like chomper, like hand claw.
Yeah, that's when I saw that. I was like, okay, yes, that thing looks evil as hell. I need it.
Need
Godzilla with a jet engine out of his butt. I was like, what is?
Where is that coming from?
Why is that?
You go to block a lightsaber
too
and
much
you just all of a
spicy
sudden
food.
it's a lot of Chipotle. All right, BP, what's your next one?
My next one is going to be from my boo, Ahsoka Tano. Her latest lightsabers. Look at those. It's the ridiculous Obi-Wan ball and spike at the bottom, and it's got a little bit of Anakin in there too. I really dig this set. I like how they're different sizes, and I love the white blades.
Alrighty. I guess I'll go next. The Ahsoka ones are great though, and I love how we've gotten a progression of Ahsoka's sabers over the course of the Clone Wars, and then Rebels, and then live action. It's just to sell toys. That's all it is.
This is actually kind of timely. We've talked about a couple people now, and actually we've talked about 4 people, right? And all of them had multiple lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible that the little green lightsaber we saw on a program recently, they had more than one.
Allegedly.
This is an FYI.
Speaking of little green lightsabers, I'll go with my next one. So my next one, I'm going to go back to the man, the myth, the legend, Hamill himself, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi, Jedi Knight Luke. Oh, BP's got is that
he's got it.
Of course he's got it. Of course.
Oh.
That's a sound that you don't want to hear if you're Ben Solo.
It's true. It's true.
But this lightsaber, it's another thing from my childhood. I had one of these, the toy versions growing up. It's such a cool, unique looking lightsaber because it almost looks like it's a lightsaber with a spring in the middle of it.
Yeah.
With a very small emitter. I mean, it's just a unique. I love unique, weird looking lightsabers. And I feel like Luke's Return of the Jedi is honestly the best Luke Skywalker lightsaber that we get. Of all of them,
it's very Obi-Wan second lightsaber.
There's definitely some heavy old Ben Kenobi influences, and we get to see it again because of spoilers. The Book of Boba Fett. We get to see a young Luke Skywalker with his green Ben Solo Killer 9000.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mari, what's number 3 for you?
The Inquisitor in general. We were talking about this before the show, and Todd was like, "Which Inquisitor? The Grand Mat?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" I'm terrible about being able to pick out the differences between them. And then I looked into them further, and I was like, "Oh, they all have like a few little differences in them, but they're all amazing." So, if you're listening, there is a picture of all of them up. You should definitely be checking this out on YouTube. But yeah, I love these very unique spinning circular lightsabers.
It's just a cool concept. And again, I feel like it takes that inspiration from Darth Maul with the double bladed, but adds a different element that makes them again terrifying, a little comical at times with the Darth Maul. What's the scene? What planet are they on? The one where
they're at the Sith Temple, right?
Yeah, the Sith Temple on it's not Morban, but
they piece out like Skeletor, kind of.
They go helicopter. They go helicopter mode all over the place. But they're cool looking lightsabers, and it's different and it's unique, and you gotta love it.
Yep.
All right, BP.
I'm gonna go with my guy Qui-Gon Jinn. It's so simple, but it's so unique in the same way. I love that it's just the one button, technically 2, but the one red button. This is another saber that I have from that same day I bought, because I bought the Obi-Wan from Phantom Menace, this Qui-Gon, and the Maul from the same Walmart in Jackson, Ohio, in late '98. They're the same terrible telescoping plastic lights, flashlights, but regardless, love them.
So much fun.
Look at the green. Like, oh god, it looks so good.
I remember those plastic telescoping toys too. Like you could just wail on those, and they would hold up pretty well. So
sometimes they would get stuck, extended, and you
Yeah.
couldn't get them down no matter what you did, and they really fucking hurt.
you would either have to jam it into the ground to try and get it to go down, or you would like rip your hand off trying to loosen it up enough. But those were prequel era. I mean, the introduction of like these 3 lightsabers was the big thing, and they really nailed it up like way out of the park with these 3 designs.
Yeah, big fan. And then we see this saber again in the Mythos Obi-Wan character. He has it on his belt. If you guys pay attention, like on the figure or in the comic, or I think he's on the comic cover of Star Wars #7, 2015 run, I believe.
Does Qui-Gon's saber come up in the comics at all, or is it just in the art?
Yeah, I think in that issue it's like hinted at a bit because you see it plain as day on his belt.
Gotcha. It would be cool to see that in the Kenobi series, like him have like obviously he's got Anakin's saber, but if he had like the power of that moment almost where he would like almost like how Rey buries the Luke and Leia saber together, like having a box that's got his former master and then his former apprentice just next to each other, just the power of that kind of moment.
How would that work? Because they're not supposed to have possessions, but is your fallen master's lightsaber a possession? Like, because in my brain, he's in a hut on Tatooine with Qui-Gon's saber trying to reach him through the Force as Yoda taught him.
Mm-hmm.
So if we see that in the show, oh baby,
it would be interesting if they use that almost like sort of these artifacts are a way for
them to link,
to connect through the Force.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because even I mean, like Obi-Wan gives Luke Anakin's saber that becomes Luke's blue saber in Empire, and then is able to communicate with Luke through the Force. So it would be an interesting way for them if they wanted to go that way.
Yeah, remember what happened when first time Rey touched the lightsaber?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the Force talked to her.
They've got the kyber crystals in them, and those are living things. So it would just be another cool ripple in the Star Wars mythos. If that ever happens, like we're gonna come back to this episode, and I'm gonna be like, we were right. We called it.
Make note, episode 62.
Jot down the time. All right, so I'm going to go with my next one. So mine is from a video game. Game I've really enjoyed. I think I've bought it twice because I bought it for my PlayStation, and then I bought it again for my PC because I wanted to try it out on a different thing, a little higher quality graphics. But it is Cal Kestis's lightsaber. And this is such a cool style. It goes through a couple of different iterations in the game, and you can customize it and things like that. But just this core lightsaber is so unique looking. The emitter is this like pronged fork looking emitter. It's cut in half. Real unique. I think they've made a version of this for Galaxy's Edge that you can buy. Just a cool looking lightsaber. It was different. I know this art was like a big thing in the promotion of the game.
Is this the poster? No. I thought no. They did give this poster away at Celebration, didn't they? This one and the other, like the cover art. I think
there was something with this this poster. The image of for the audio listeners, it's the image with like the runes in the background with the lightsaber, and it's kind of got the little blue, like not emitter, but the ignition kind of ripple effects going on. The spark that'll burn down the First Order. But yeah, it's cool. And it's got like the exposed wiring. It's a damaged lightsaber, but not damaged. And then eventually what it looks like, it's cool because it ties like his past master and pre-order 66 to his future endeavors and kind of really becomes his own true saber, and sort of that element of a Padawan continuing on his quest of becoming a Jedi Knight.
And it also looks like it comes with a tetanus shot.
It does. It 100% is rusty and will hurt you. All right, Mari, what's your number 4?
My girl, Asajj, her beautifully curved, very unique design on those. I'm a sucker for dual blades, man. Like,
I think, what did you pick? Three dual bladed sabers, or sabers that can become
I
dual
wasn't even
bladed?
paying attention, and I didn't even realize it until you pointed out on the Inquisitors that it was 2, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I was like, oh yeah, Asajj also.
Oh, wait a second. For those who don't know, Mari has a type.
I do though. Like in World of Warcraft, I played dual wield. When I play D&D, it's usually a dual wielder. So I'm a sucker for it.
We don't call her Darth Mari as a cute nickname, folks. Like, she is literally a Sith. Like, literally.
A Sith Lord, you say?
Yeah. It's my specialty.
But yeah, she has that unique design where they're curved, and it takes after like her master and things like that. So
when she has those apart and she's standing, like, just her legs are slightly apart, she has her sabers pointed down to the ground.
Yep.
Mommy. Sorry.
Mommy.
Yep.
Oh man, what a cool. Again, it's another way that I feel like anytime George was like double bladed, yes, I want more.
Yep.
Make that happen, because you had this. I don't think we mentioned it, but Savage Opress, another.
Yep.
It's like
Ahsoka. She had 2.
Yeah.
He really likes lightsabers 2s.
Who doesn't? Wait a minute.
The rule of 2.
Wait a minute, George. By George, I think he's got it.
By George.
All right, BP.
Number 4. Actually, speak of the devil. Not George, but Asajj's master, Count Dooku.
There it is.
Darth Pajamas.
I love the curved hilt, and he's known as like the premier swordsman of his time, and the curved hilt had a lot to do with that. It's just such a cool design, and just a red blade. It's really hard to beat, and only one saber beats it, in my opinion. So we'll get to that in a minute.
A little tease. It is another really cool design, and I think I appreciate his saber more after listening to the Dooku Jedi Lost audiobook, because they really stress that whole sword fighter and the technique heavy element that Dooku had as a Jedi. So seeing almost like I kind of view it as like fencing. Like he has a very fencing and elegant style to his lightsaber fighting, and has to have a very elegant saber to match that. And I love running around in his exquisite pajamas in Battlefront 2 with his elegant lightsaber. Man just screams, "Hello, I'm fancy."
Despite the fact that they call him Do in that book you were talking about.
Yes.
Basically, it's Christopher Lee in Star Wars.
Yeah. And his backstory, for anybody who has never like read into Christopher Lee's backstory, that dude is the definition of like the most interesting man alive when he was younger and throughout his whole life. So that
have you listened to his Metal Christmas album?
No, but
incredible.
It's
so good. It is so good. I love him.
He worked for like MI7 or something. He had a metal band. He was in Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. And
if I could go back in time, I would have made him a James Bond.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. He was a real life James Bond. I mean, he's been perfect. So missed. Such a cool man. Before this becomes a Count Dooku, Christopher Lee, we love you episode, I'll hop into my next one. So my next one, I'm going to go back to animation. This lightsaber is really cool, and it's from an early season of Rebels, but we've got Ezra Bridger's lightsaber blaster. I love this just because it's so unique and so different, and it screams that kind of creativity and ingenuity of a young Ezra, that adapting and able to kind of improvise. And while Kanan's very kind of uptight and you got to do it this way, and this is what I was taught to do, Ezra's like, oh yeah, but what if we improvise? And instead of having Kanan's got his side blaster and his lightsaber, Ezra's like, why not just make it into one?
He really did. Ezra's the my helmet inspiration guy. He has a new helmet every episode, so do I.
You and him are just gonna have a contest.
Yep.
They make a live action version of Ezra, and he has to have all his helmets, and BP's gonna be like, "I can one up that.
I can make them.
I can do that.
I'm gonna do all of that." All right, on to our final round. Mari, what is your final lightsaber?
My final one is definitely going to be one that most people also don't know about because I don't think it's been in any of the games or anything like that. But it's Lord Corvax's lightsaber. This thing is wild looking.
Is that the exposed kyber crystal? What is that up there? I can't tell.
I believe so.
I believe it is.
And the pigtails?
Yeah.
The twisty
Little
blade.
swirly pigtails to go up the blade. I just when I saw this, it immediately stuck out, and
It screams High Republic.
Really does. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be in one of my tops forever, probably.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, BP. I think you and me have the same final one. We can go ahead and jump into it. I'll give a little tease for the people, for the audio listeners, if you listen quietly. Oh yeah. I love this thing.
So cool. So the Darksaber, before the Darksaber was a thing growing up, I always wanted a black lightsaber. And I didn't know how it would ever work or if it would ever happen. I assumed it wouldn't happen. But when they introduced it, oh man, did I lose my mind.
It's such a cool lightsaber because it's a lightsaber, but it's very much not a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at it and I'll throw up the picture from the Book of Boba Fett. I almost said the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The Book of Boba Fett. My issues with the show. It's Din Djarin with it. I mean, it's just so primal looking. It's got that somewhat angular blade. It looks like a swashbuckler's sword almost. It's gritty, it's dark, the way the light comes off of it. I mean, it's such a cool looking lightsaber.
The hilt is so basic. You can tell it was made by a Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Like it's Mando to the T.
It's made with a purpose, and it is the history around it. I think the history around it's almost more interesting than the saber itself, like the design of it, but also just the power that it carries.
I'm so happy that they talked about it on the show too, because he said the more I use it, the heavier it gets.
Yep.
I was like, yes. I
feel like it also adds kind of to the element that like not everybody can wield a lightsaber, because anytime the Darksaber is introduced, they did it in Rebels, they did it in Book of Boba Fett, where it really is something that you have to respect and kind of work with, not against. So it's cool. I love the mythos around it. I love the design of it. I love the
It almost ended up on mine, but I saw you guys had already had it, and I was like,
rounded out with all three of us having the same favorite ending lightsaber.
I mean, knowing me, like everything is black. Like, of course, the Darksaber is up there for me.
If they make a double-bladed lightsaber, then you're gonna double-bladed Darksaber.
There's
game over.
Nothing else in this universe that I will care about that black-bladed dual lightsaber.
Could you imagine if Din or whoever ends up with the Darksaber wants to make it their own and is like, how about second Darksaber?
This is flat on the bottom. I
need a custom one. I want a custom one.
I'm run around with a double-bladed Darksaber, be like, I'm the best.
If anybody wants to design me a black double-bladed lightsaber, I'll pay.
Could you imagine walking into like the armorer's little office? Be like, oh, I hear you like the Darksaber. Start it.
Like, oh, that's really cool. And then like, what is it?
Look at me.
The meme from
I'm the captain now.
Is it the meme from Friends where it's Joey's like looking and then his eyes get really big? Yeah. It's like Darksaber ignition, and then it's like, oh, that's cool. And second ignition, it's like oh, such a cool lightsaber, man. And I hope we see more of it. Like they gave us a little bit in Book of Boba Fett. And I would love to just see more of it in live action or animation or in anything. Give us like a ancient Mandalorian show where Tar Vizslas running around with the Darksaber and just absolutely decimating people.
Please.
I want it.
Oh,
I need it.
Yes, please.
Actually, let's insert the clip of Maul and the Vizsla. I can't remember which one he took out in Clone Wars.
Pre-Vizsla.
Yeah.
Yeet! Oh, I think that's it. I think that's all the
that's it.
sabers.
Yep.
That's a lot of cool. There's a lot of really cool ones. Like we didn't even get into the other Jedi Masters. I'm surprised none of us picked Anakin.
There's a reason I didn't, and it's because it wasn't just his. You know what I mean? Like so many people wielded it. You know what? We have time. Let's talk about some runner-ups or honorable mentions, if you will.
Do we want to just go through the lightsaber collection Star Wars book?
There's one on there. Princess General Leia's lightsaber is literally gorgeous with the mother of pearl inlets. Looks so good. In this one, you can't not talk about the original man. Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Mr. Scary, heavy duty.
I seriously considered putting that on my list, but I was like, it is iconic and it's so recognizable that I was just like, I'm already putting one obvious on the list.
Darth Sidious sabers, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've got two honorable mentions for me. One is Mace Windu's, and that's because he has bad MFR on the bottom of his, and that's solely the only reason it's cool as anything. But the second one for me, and I almost put this on my list just because of how unique it is Master Sinube's from Clone Wars. It's like a cane, but also a lightsaber. Yeah. I was like, give me that like improvising. Like you just imagine just casually like walking up on some dude, and all of a sudden he's like cane mode engaged.
Yeah. There's a bunch in the High Republic that I'd love to talk about, but I don't want to spoil anything for people that do more than just light up. So
many choices. We could honestly do a second favorite lightsaber episode and have completely different ones.
When I was going through them, because I'm not as familiar with all of the games and the comics and stuff, so when I was going through them, because I was just looking for unique ones, and there are so many. There's a lot that look very, very similar, and then there are some where it's just wildly different. Mm-hmm. And so that it was fun for me to like look at new ones.
Well, let's do something we don't generally do. What's one you don't like?
Ooh.
Off the top of my head, I don't like Kanan's.
Actually, I think when I saw it, like when I was looking at him and I saw his out of all of them, I was like, mm-mm.
Yeah, but it just doesn't do anything for me. I love Rey's. I'll say that right now.
Oh, the yellow Rey Skywalker one?
The yellow one, yeah.
Her Sith saber was on my list originally.
Yeah.
Because it's double-bladed.
It's even got a hinge.
That's the thing. It was just like, shh.
The Jedi Temple Guard is also a cool one because it's got that same nunchuck hinge kind of vibe to it. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, least favorite. Yoda's doesn't really do anything for me. Like Yoda's is cool because it's small, but it really doesn't. Other than that, I'm like, okay, that's.
I feel like the only thing they could do with that little lightsaber would be some type of engraving, maybe. Unless he like went full like katana and it was like massive and he just used like a double his body size lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yoda's was the one that was popping into my head. Not super memorable other than it's small.
Yeah, it's small.
Some of the other Jedi Masters are just kind of like, those are just like run of the mill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Regular. Ponkrell, I hate the character, but he's got a cool lightsaber again because it's
he was the worst.
There's a Ponkrell Stan account on Twitter, and it like anytime it pops up, I'm like, go away. Get out of here.
No.
No one wants you here. No one likes this character.
We don't serve your kind.
Even though he was right about everything. We don't like him. He had a point. He's kind of awful, but he has a point. The clones were kind of evil.
Whatever.
Alrighty.
He was a cotton-headed ninny muggins. All right. I mean, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Let us know in the comments down below. Shoot us messages or talk to us on social media. What's your favorites lightsabers? Which one do you not like? Like Todd said, Mari said, we could do another episode just on lightsabers because there are so many and so many awesome ones at that. I think Mari probably going to run out of dual bladed. if we did another episode.
No way.
I'm sure
There have to be
there's
so many.
there's got to be more that we're not thinking of, that, or they're just going to start making more. Like the
Yeah.
last episode of Book of Boba Fett is just going to be like double-bladed lightsaber, double-bladed
Oh, the High Republic, like every other Jedi has a dual blade lightsaber. Like there's one, I can't remember her name, and it's blowing my mind because she's, I think, my favorite. She's literally all white, and she has a dual bladed white lightsaber. Like she's like Moon Knight, but a Jedi. And she's incredible. And also, she's not technically a Jedi anymore. She's more of a badass that does her own thing when she wants to do it.
Incredible.
All right, kids. That's going to do it for us. Make sure you're following us on all our social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pink Cowboy Hat, TikTok. And make sure you like and subscribe to this this channel. You know, don't want to forget to do that. What else we got going on? Oh, shoot. You know what, guys? Leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. It sounds like it doesn't, but it does help us a ton. It helps the algorithm shoot us out to more people. So appreciate you if you do that. And if you want to help us support the show even more, not just listening, liking, retweeting, all that jazz, you want to shoot us some cash to help put the show on. Join our Patreon. It's a hoot and a holler, if you will. But until next time, remember, the Force will be with you always.